Confidence is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to prove itself. True confidence moves in silence, calm, certain, and untouchable. But there is one trait that separates the truly confident from the rest, one that makes them dangerous, feared, yet respected. The truly confident person is detached. They are not controlled by praise, nor destroyed by criticism. They can walk away from anything, money, people, power, if it no longer serves their purpose. While others cling to approval, they walk with purpose. While others chase validation, they choose results. You cannot manipulate the one who does not crave your approval. You cannot defeat the one who feels nothing when you withdraw your love. This is what makes them dangerous. They smile, but never reveal their full thoughts. They listen, but never rush to speak. They act only when it's time to strike, and when they do, it's precise and final. True confidence is not arrogance, it's control. Control over the mind, the emotions, the reactions. It's the power to stay calm when others panic, to remain still when others rush, to stay focused when others are distracted by ego. And the world cannot handle people like that, because they cannot be used, bought, or broken. So, if you wish to rise above the weak and the noisy, learn the dangerous art of detachment. Be calm in chaos. Be quiet in conflict. Be certain when others doubt. Because in a world that feeds on insecurity, the one who brothered down, the night read a vendor, the one who needs nothing, rules everything. Detachment is the core of true confidence, because it frees a person from the invisible chains that control most people. The need for approval, the fear of rejection, and the desire to be liked. When someone is detached, they do not build their identity on the opinions of others. They know who they are, and they do not need the world to confirm it. This self-assurance creates a calm, steady presence that others can feel but cannot easily read. Detachment allows a person to move with clarity because their emotions do not blur their judgment. They can see things as they are, not as they wish them to be. Most people mistake confidence for noise, for talking too much, showing off, or constantly proving themselves. But real confidence is quiet, because it does not need to convince anyone. Detachment gives birth to this silence. It allows someone to act without being emotionally attached to the outcome. When you are detached, you no longer chase every opportunity or beg for recognition. You let things come to you naturally, because you understand that what belongs to you will find you. This mindset makes others wonder how you stay calm under pressure, how you do not panic when things go wrong, and why you never seem desperate. Detachment builds power because it gives control. The person who can walk away holds the strongest position in any relationship, negotiation, or conflict. People sense it when you are not dependent on their approval or affection. It shifts the balance of power instantly. The detached individual does not overreact, does not beg, does not crumble. They respond from reason, not emotion. That is why detached people often lead, while others follow. They are guided by clarity, not by impulse. Detachment also protects the mind from chaos. When you are emotionally tied to every insult, every rumor, or every failure, you lose energy and focus. You start fighting unnecessary battles. But when you are detached, you conserve your strength for what truly matters. You stop reacting to small things and start focusing on long-term goals. Detachment makes you immune to manipulation because you no longer seek validation. People cannot control you with praise or destroy you with criticism. Their opinions lose power over you, and that makes you free. True detachment does not mean coldness or indifference. It means mastery. It means you can feel emotions without being ruled by them. You can love without losing yourself. You can care without becoming weak. You can give your best without fearing the result. It is the ability to act wisely while remaining untouched by the noise around you. Detachment is not about running away from the world. It is about facing it with calmness and clarity. It allows you to stand still when everyone else is shaking, to make decisions when others hesitate, and to see through illusion when others are blinded by emotion. Power lies in emotional control, because emotions are the first weapon used against you. When others can provoke you, they can predict you. The one who controls their emotions controls their actions, their words, and their presence. In any situation, the person who stays calm while others lose control becomes the center of power. Anger, fear, jealousy, and pride are the emotions that most people obey without realizing it. They react before thinking, speak before observing, and decide before understanding. Emotional control is the art of reversing that pattern. It is the ability to pause, to calculate, and to respond with purpose instead of impulse. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings, it is about mastering them. You can feel anger without acting on it, feel pain without showing it, feel pressure without breaking. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel anything, but those who choose how and when to express it. When you control your emotional state, no one can easily read your weaknesses. People rely on emotional reactions to manipulate others, to guilt them, to provoke them into mistakes. The person who stays steady breaks that cycle. They become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. In leadership, emotional control separates the respected from the replaceable. A leader who reacts emotionally creates confusion and fear. But one who stays composed, even in chaos, builds trust and influence. Calmness under pressure communicates strength. People instinctively follow those who appear unshaken when everything else is falling apart. Emotional control also sharpens perception. When emotions do not cloud your thinking, you see motives, patterns, and power dynamics more clearly. You notice what others miss because you are not distracted by internal noise. Emotional control protects your dignity. When anger rules you, you say things you regret. When fear dominates you, you shrink from opportunities. When ego leads you, you fight meaningless battles. Every time emotion takes command, logic disappears. Controlling emotions means you no longer let temporary feelings cause permanent damage. You maintain your composure not because you are weak, but because you are aware that every reaction has a cost. You choose when to respond and when to stay silent, not out of passivity, but out of precision. Those who lack emotional control become prisoners of the moment. They are dragged by every mood and manipulated by every provocation. But the person who governs their emotional world stands like a fortress. They cannot be easily moved, scared, or provoked. Their calmness unsettles others because it reveals a strength that cannot be reached through emotion. Emotional control turns ordinary moments into opportunities for dominance. It lets you dictate the tone of every interaction and the pace of every conflict. It allows you to rise above chaos, to influence without forcing, and to win without noise. Silence reveals strength because it forces others to reveal themselves first. When you speak less, people fill the space with their own thoughts, fears, and mistakes. Silence becomes your armor and your weapon. It keeps your intentions hidden and your image powerful. Those who are quick to speak are often quick to expose their weaknesses. They try to prove, justify, or defend themselves, while the silent one listens, observes, and learns. Silence gives time to understand what others are trying to hide. It allows you to see through their words, to hear what is not being said, and to plan your next move with precision. The world is full of noise, people talking, arguing, and competing to be heard. In that chaos, silence becomes rare and commanding. When you stay quiet in a room full of voices, attention naturally shifts to you. People become curious about what you think, and that curiosity gives you power. Silence builds mystery, and mystery builds respect. The less you reveal, the more others assume. They start to imagine depth, intelligence, or authority behind your calm expression. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth when your silence already speaks for it. Silence is also a tool of control. In conflict, silence disarms aggression. When someone tries to provoke you and you do not react, they lose their grip. Your calm unsettles them because they expected resistance or emotion, but you give them none. This is how silence wins battles without confrontation. It makes others question themselves, while you remain still and confident. In negotiation, silence pressures the other side to speak more, often revealing their limits or intentions. The one who can sit in silence longer often gains the upper hand. Silence creates mental clarity. When you are not always speaking, your mind becomes sharper and more observant. You begin to notice small details, body language, tone, hesitation that others miss. You start understanding people on a deeper level, not through their words, but through their behavior. This understanding becomes an advantage in every interaction. Silence allows you to think before you act, to calculate before you commit, and to stay composed while others expose their emotions. Silence also protects your energy. Constant talking drains strength and invites unnecessary attention. When you are silent, you choose what to share and with whom. You stop wasting words on those who do not deserve them. You speak only when your words carry weight. This selective communication creates an aura of authority. People start listening more carefully when you finally speak, because they know your words are not random, they are deliberate. Silence makes your voice more valuable. It turns every word into a choice, not a reaction. Those who master silence do not need to announce their power. They project it through presence, through the way they stand, observe, and hold their calm. Silence builds an invisible dominance that words cannot match. Certainty without validation is dominance because it separates those who lead from those who follow. Most people depend on others to confirm their worth. They need likes, praise, or reassurance to feel capable. Their confidence is fragile, built on external approval that can vanish at any moment. But the one who possesses certainty within themselves cannot be shaken by opinions. They do not wait for permission to believe in their vision. Their strength comes from conviction, not applause. This inner certainty gives them the power to move forward when others hesitate, to make decisions without fear of judgment, and to stand alone without feeling lonely. Certainty is quiet and steady. It doesn't need to argue or explain. When someone truly believes in themselves, they do not rush to defend their choices. They know that time will prove them right. This patience unsettles those who seek instant validation. People sense real confidence even before a word is spoken, and they are drawn to it because it represents something rare: self-trust. The certain individual moves with purpose, not pride. They understand their value so deeply that they don't need to display it. This calm belief creates influence that cannot be forced or faked. Validation becomes a weakness when it becomes a habit. Once you start depending on it, you become easy to control. Compliments lift you. Criticism destroys you. Your emotions rise and fall with the opinions of others. True dominance begins when you free yourself from that cycle. When you stop chasing approval, you start creating it. People notice those who move differently, those who stay consistent no matter the reaction. Certainty builds this consistency. It makes your actions predictable to you but mysterious to others. They wonder how you stay so sure when everything around you is uncertain. Certainty is not arrogance. Arrogance is loud and insecure, built on ego and comparison. Certainty is quiet and focused, built on experience and reflection. It comes from knowing your principles, your limits, and your direction. The certain person listens to others, but never loses themselves in the noise. They can take advice without being influenced, criticism without being broken, and rejection without being slowed down. This mental independence commands respect, because it is rare in a world addicted to validation. In relationships, certainty shifts power instantly. The person who is less emotionally dependent always controls the connection. When you are certain of your worth, you no longer chase attention. You attract it by being grounded and calm. People are drawn to those who do not seek approval because it signals strength. They sense security in your presence. In work, certainty drives achievement because it fuels persistence. You don't need motivation from others when your belief already burns inside you. Certainty without validation is the essence of leadership. It allows you to walk through doubt without being consumed by it. It keeps you stable when others question, calm when others panic, and focused when others seek comfort in approval. The one who needs nothing rules everything, because dependence is the root of weakness. Most people are trapped by their desires. They need attention, approval, wealth, or status to feel complete. Their emotions rise and fall with what they have or lack. This makes them easy to manipulate, because the one who can give or take away what they crave controls them. But the person who truly needs nothing cannot be controlled. They are free from attachment, and that freedom makes them powerful. When you no longer chase what others value, you start to see how little power the world has over you. The one who needs nothing cannot be bribed, flattered, or threatened. They act from choice, not compulsion. This detachment gives them a calm authority that others feel but cannot understand. People who need recognition will always bow to those who can give it. But the one who does not seek it becomes untouchable. Their silence commands more respect than others shouting. Their lack of need becomes their source of dominance. When you stand before someone who needs nothing from you, you instinctively sense their power because you have nothing to offer that could sway them. Freedom from need brings mental clarity. Most people spend their energy trying to hold on to what they fear losing. They exhaust themselves protecting possessions, relationships, or reputations. But the person who is not owned by anything cannot be threatened with loss. They are able to take bold actions because they are not paralyzed by fear of failure. This independence allows them to make decisions based on logic, not desperation. When you do not need anything from the outcome, you can focus entirely on strategy. That level of focus leads to mastery, and mastery leads to control. The one who needs nothing is not careless. They simply understand that everything is temporary. Power, money, and admiration come and go, but control over the self remains. They do not waste energy chasing illusions. They focus on what they can build and what they can command from within. This self-sufficiency creates an aura of dominance that others cannot match. People are drawn to them because they radiate stability in a world ruled by desire. Their calm presence unsettles those who are still chained to their wants. In every arena, politics, business, relationships, the balance of power tilts toward the one who can walk away. Dependence makes you weak. Detachment makes you dangerous. When you need nothing, you can negotiate with anyone, confront any situation, and make any decision without fear. This independence creates leverage in every interaction. Others chase, you choose. Others seek comfort, you seek clarity. The one who needs nothing becomes the ruler, not through possession, but through freedom. Their power is not built on control over others, but on control over themselves, and that is a kind of authority that cannot be taken away by force or influence.